The Clock That Stopped, a tale about time that won't move forward, and a house that remembers too well. At the end of a quiet road stood an old house with narrow windows and a single chimney, forever stained by winters long gone. People passed it without looking, as if the place had requested not to be seen. Inside, in the front room where dust softened every edge, sat a tall grandfather clock. Its face was a pale moon, its hands of hammered iron. No one had wound it in years, and yet the clock was not broken, only waiting. When Mara inherited the house, she came on an evening of slow rain. She walked through rooms that still held the temperature of old conversations, a stair that creaked once and then fell silent, a window that knew which way the wind would turn, a table with a faint circle where a cup once lived. She found the clock and listened. Silence. Then, from somewhere behind the silence, a single thin tick. It was so soft she could have blamed it on the rain. But the next one came precisely after, and the next after that. Steady, patient, familiar. She tried to start it properly. The weight chains had stiffened. The pendulum held a memory of motion. Mara set the hands to the current hour and let the pendulum go. For a breath, the world aligned. Tick, tock, tick. The sound threaded through the rooms like a small, brave animal. She smiled. Then the house exhaled a draft from the hallway, and the pendulum stilled. The hands froze at 11:17. That night, sleep would not come. Mara lay awake, counting the pauses between distant cars, the hush of rain, the almost sound of the clock. At last, she rose and stepped into the front room. The moon had moved, silvering the clock's face. 11:17. And yet, she felt time in the room, like a tide turning where no ocean was. She lifted the glass, touched the pendulum, and in the reflection on the curved brass, she saw the shape of a woman standing where she stood, years removed. Not a ghost, more like a long echo. The woman's hand rested on the pendulum with the same care, the same fear of breaking something that did not belong to her. Behind the echo woman, the room was different. A shawl on the chair, a book open on the table, a lamp lit low. Mara blinked. The lamp's reflection trembled like a held breath. A note lay in the clock's base, folded into a square as small as a coin. Mara hadn't noticed it before. On the paper, one line, written with an ink that had learned to fade. Time stops where love refused to leave. The words felt heavier than the paper that carried them. Mara looked again at the hands. 11:17. What had happened in that room, in that minute, that time refused to step past? She set a chair by the clock and waited. Midnight came without asking permission. The house listened with her. Somewhere around the hour between 1 and 2, a warmth gathered in the room, as if a lamp had been lit in another century. Mara did not turn her head, but she felt the simple weight of another life settling into place, pages turning, footsteps pausing, a breath caught and then released, a rhythm older than grief, older than patience. When morning found the windows, the clock still read 11:17. Mara stood, wound the mechanism, adjusted nothing else, and this time let the pendulum fall on its own. It swung without sound, until the house, slowly, kindly, gave the room back its measure. Tick, a pause long enough to hold a memory. Tock. The hands did not move forward, but the air did. The day had begun. They say the old house keeps the minute that mattered, so the rest of your minutes can move. If you ever find a clock that will not pass a certain time, listen. It might be waiting for you to remember what it refuses to forget. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more quiet mysteries from Echoes of Secrets.